So, me and Chuck talked yesterday. I had dinner with the family yesterday, and we did the reversible wig thing last time. So that came up. So it was coming out. I want to let them know it was coming out. They could watch it. My nephew explained to my sister that when he was younger and she would wear wigs, he didn't like it because he thought it would be attractive to men. And what she didn't understand was when you raise your woman raising a single boy, you put him in the position of man/husband/son.
Man of the house.
And that kind of surprised Chuck. I'm gonna let Chuck pick it up, because he was kind of surprised by it too. But I would do the same thing. You know what I mean? And now, like most of our households, at least like 70% are headed by women.
I don't even know if I want to go there, bro.
You gotta go there, bro.
Nah. Why don't you start it off, man?
No, get it off your chest. Cause
No, I mean,
I lived it.
No, it's off my chest, man. It's just that
I lived it.
if this is what I think you're talking about, man.
Well, basically, what surprised me was the fact that she didn't know, she didn't understand, and he's a grown man now.
Right.
So he's gonna be open about it. He's gonna let you know. You know what I mean? This is what happens once you grow up. The things that you still, I don't say that you're still dealing with, but the things that you still remember.
Yeah, because sometimes they're not resolved.
Yes.
So you carry those things with you.
Yes.
Like that, and I think it's rough as a boy growing up with a single mom, knowing that even though she's your mom, she's still a woman.
There you go.
And there's still things that she wants. And as her son, we don't agree with. Like, I couldn't see in my head my mom being intimate with somebody.
No, none of us could.
But if it was, I could see being intimate with my dad. But you don't want to see your mom with another man. You just don't, because from that perspective, well, from a child's perspective, the shit just ain't right. That's just how I look at it. It just ain't right. And sometimes you harbor feelings, bad feelings, I guess, because that's something you went through, and it's something different than a guy who would grow up with both parents would go through. You know?
Right. See, for me, I never felt I was like so quote unquote the man of the house. My mom, to my knowledge, there was guys that came around. But on a softer note, the guys who came around were different. I've told you the Mr. Rick story, so I'm gonna tell the Mr. Rick story again. You had a lot of guys back in the day who knew how to. They knew if you were gonna get with the mom, you had to go through the kids. They had to make sure the kids was cool. Like now, they don't care. You see where the guys is like, they don't give a damn, but they won't bring nothing for the kids.
Yeah, the hell with them kids.
The hell with them kids. They go straight to the room and.
Leave.
Yeah. Mr. Rick was smooth. I can't remember where Mr. Rick worked. All right, he come in, he was friendly to us, he was talk to us, he spent time with us. We used to have a basement, and in our basement there was a refrigerator. So we had a refrigerator in the kitchen, refrigerator in the basement. Mm-hmm. We keep some things down there, not no major food items or whatever. All I remember this one morning, go down the basement, open up the basement refrigerator, filled with pastries. Filled. I'm not kidding. Cinnamon rolls, snacks, whatever. Give a shit what it was. It was in there. From that point on, Mr. Rick was the man.
Sure he was.
Mr. Rick could do no wrong. If Mr. Rick stayed, hey.
We got pastries.
I'm all sugared up.
You know?
Damn, bro. Mr. Rick knew the game.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I got low game for Mr. Rick, but but that was different. You know what I mean? So if you hear a woman tell you I filled up her refrigerator with a bunch of pastries, that's where that came from.
Yeah.
I sampled Mr. Rick. But that's what's hard, man. You got so many of these kids, these boys, growing up as the man of the house, and most of them can't cut it. They can't handle it because she can't teach them how to be a man. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then there's the frustration of, like you said, the thought that she wants to go look good for somebody else, for another guy, and then the thought of him not only coming to the house, but moving into the house. You know what I mean? So it's an interesting thing. I'm sure we'll pick it up again when we do the show with females. It'll get more, intertwined. But what's your thoughts on it, John?
Well, I mean, the psychology says, when there is no male present, adult male, that the young male is going to sometimes assume that responsibility in a sense that who's going to take out the trash? He's supposed to take out the trash. Who's going to mow the lawn? He's going to mow the lawn. When it comes to who's going to be carrying the groceries in the house? He better carry the groceries in the house. Who look out for your sisters, whatever, so on and so forth. You become, that person, and what kind of depending on if your mom's the kind of mom says do some chores, you're gonna grow up clean your house. You know what I'm saying? If you have a mom that says I don't give a damn what you do, and I'm gonna let dudes come in here and do whatever the hell they're gonna do, then you're gonna have a dirty house, and you're not gonna be either respecting women, or you're not gonna be respecting. If you're a woman, you're not gonna be. You're gonna be having the male issues where it's just about having somebody come over. Just those different things. So I look at it like, I understand when young brothers get real protective, especially of moms. Like I say, for years I ran an educational program that was for black male, young black men, and in interviewing the parents, most of them were single moms. You know what I'm saying? And there were times where. Like the moms they would meet me and they'd be like, oh, you married? What you got? What's up with you? And they would literally like on the spot, like try to hit on you and say, and like proposition you at that point. And I would explain to them, I'd say, well, ma'am, you have to understand something. I'm here to put your son in a position where he can be around young men to get that. They'll do well for themselves, so on and so forth, create an environment and so on and so forth. And I said, I need your son to trust me. You know what I'm saying? And I said, at the end of the day, if your son sees me with you, or whatever it is, so on and so forth, he ain't gonna trust me. You gonna think I just came after you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna use him to get to you. You know what I'm saying? And I said, that's just something that, he has to respect me. So, it's no dice. I'm like, oh, wow. I'm like, yeah, this is real. So I understand the relationship sometimes when it comes, especially when a young man, to their mom. And that's why I look at those relationships and just, I respect them. So, but not being in a family, a single mom, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I guess my perspective is usually just from the outside looking in any,
But you could tell what's missing.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's, yeah.
Yeah, because as a female, there's only so much you could do to teach a man, because we even handle our feelings differently. You know what I mean? A lot of our anger comes from having stuff build up, where girls sit there and cry all day. You know what I mean? Certain guys, here, I'll give you an example. Even on my job, somebody who was a student explained to me that they don't let people talk stuff to them, and I tell them, I said, I don't let people talk stuff to me because if everybody else sees it, then they'll do it. So it's the same premise. When you're a little boy, you can't let everybody see you, get bullied, so you hold all that stuff in. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, the way it's coming out today, you know what I mean, is major. It's major. That's just one of the things I believe. I believe with each generation of us being raised with just the mom, it's just my own personal belief. I haven't done no research or anything like that. But I think it just gets worse. I think the men, we get worse. Mm-hmm. And now you have situations where young women get pregnant and they know they're not going to be with this guy. They just want a baby. They don't want to be with him per se. You know what I mean? So they already know this is going to be me raising them. You know, and there's all kind of statistics and everything like that back it up that say, you know, this is really not the way to go. You got to go in a certain way. But this is how it's done today for a lot of people.
You know, the other side of that is like you see what other women have babies to keep the man. A lot of them will have a child because they feel like if I have a child with him, then we'll have the family that I didn't have, or whatever it is, what have you. Like it's like you see that also goes with the mentality of I didn't have a dad. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have all these things, you know, so on and so forth. So it's like I want to have like and I want a man to love me. You know what I'm saying? So he'll love me if I can give, you know, have a baby and all these things, so on and so forth. And that's not for all women. And, you know, I don't want everyone to generalize, but sometimes the psychology is just like, how can I get somebody to love me? Because usually when that person is missing, like I always say, the reverse of it is if you don't have a man in the house and you're a young man, sometimes you might have a problem taking orders from another grown man because you're just like, nah, I'm not. Who you talking to? Ain't no man. You ain't my. You know, and the first thing they say is, you ain't my dad. Right. That's the first thing they say, and that's when you know from the door, like, okay, well, is that because your dad doesn't give you orders because your dad isn't around? Is that what it is, or you're upset with your father, or what is it? What is, you know, where's that coming from? Because I'm not trying to be your dad. I'm just trying to be, you know, an administrator in this school. Like, it's like, it has nothing to do with being a father. But the fact that he went there is the psychology behind it. So, you know, you see the young lady and she's out there just, you know, doing whatever, and, you know, I'm gonna have a baby with him and we're gonna have this and we're gonna do that and so on and so forth. Yeah, it's like she didn't know how to show her love in a sense without having a baby. You know what I'm saying? And he out here like, I mean, she likes him. I think she likes him. She probably thinks she loves him. You know what I'm saying? It's just probably a false sense of all of those things because she doesn't really know what it looks like. You know what I'm saying? This dude, you know what I'm saying? Dude ain't doing shit really. Yeah. He ain't, you know, he's playing games all day. He's out here hustling, whatever it is. He's, you know, messing with other women, and she don't even care. She's like, look, I know he's doing all this stuff while the drama happens. I got his baby. You know, you got, you know, and that's supposed to keep you here, or no matter what, even if you out there with other women, I'm still number one because I got your baby. You know what I'm saying? It's like you see that mentality. You're just like, oh, baby girl. As a father, I could never see my daughter doing that bullshit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I think the problem is, and I've heard, you know, Kevin Samuel say that the older female generation doesn't teach the younger female generation. So what you're having is you're having a cycle unbroken, because at some point in time, some mother has to say, you know what, baby, I didn't do it the right way. This is what I did. This is what I think you should do. It may be wrong, but we don't know. I can tell you the things I did that didn't work. This just might. Mm-hmm. You know, and once you can break that cycle, then that's when you'll see a change in the community. But as long as it's basically, I'll say it, it's the dumb leading the dumb. Not saying that people are dumb, but using the analogy. If I don't know shit and I'm teaching you shit, you're gonna take what I taught you because you don't know what I don't know, and you're gonna give someone else some more bad advice. So someone has to break it.
What's crazy? What you're saying is right, and it's not even advice. It's just watching.
Yeah.
It's just you people. We learn visually by what people do around us.
Right.
So we learn that behavior without you even telling me.
My thing is different. Here's my thing, and I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. What happens is, trust me, I've seen it firsthand many times. Here's what happens. The thing is, somewhere it's decided we don't need men. Mm-hmm. We'll do everything ourselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? Somewhere it's decided, but they don't accept or understand. But this is at the expense of
the child.
Well, not only the child, but all of us. Like when you raise a kid, you turn that kid into society. Affects all of us. Kid running around the mall shooting everybody, that affects all of us. But you constantly have this thing where we don't need men, and then you'll have women who are like, want to be with a man, but he has a specific role, and a lot of times it's financial and what he could do for them. Other than that, I don't need you. And my thing is, that's fine if you don't need me, but let's not play like you do to get me.
Right.
Like now I'm old enough now where I can see the difference. I can see how you run your life. I can see how you handle your bills. I can see everything. And I'm not here to clean up anything. Matter of fact, at this age, I'm not even here to teach you nothing.
Yeah.
Because, this is later in life. Just like you hear the cries of, I was in the store one day, man, and this woman, she followed me up to the point of being, like, when I'm checking out, she's like right behind me. So I got mad, I got upset. I said, you better get the hell away from me. I said, get away from me. She said to me, not to me, but to the whole line, she's like, I can't find no good men. And I turned to look at her, I said, yeah, we're all scared. And the cash register, the lady running the cash register we started cracking up. But I was just saying what I feel. I wouldn't deal with you. Get the hell away from me.
What
me.
was wrong with her?
Bruh, it was not for me to diagnose her.
Well, she was trying to hit on you or something?
It was stronger than that. It was like, you ever smell desperation?
Oh, okay, that's my favorite. Oh, the desperation, huh?
This was the big bottle.
I met your belly.
This is where you just splashing all over you. I'm like, if you don't get the hell away from me, crazy lady, get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? Because they can sense, and we'll get into more of that later, but they can sense, some women are smart. They can sense who I believe this too. Let's just get into it. Let's just drop it down. The smart women, some women will look at your shopping cart and know what your situation is. They see how you eat, what you eat. You could tell a single man's grocery cart if you really look. Just like I could tell a woman who has a family. See, I'm giving y'all my game now. I'm not going to have to come up with a book. I keep telling y'all my tricks. I could look at a woman's cart pretty much, and I could tell she has kids. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I could also tell if you're on public assistance a lot of times too, because there'll be a big ass cart full of all this stuff, and there's no vegetables in there. See, y'all see where I'm going. Y'all thought I was just playing. You see what I mean?
What's wrong, man?
I'm just coming out with it.
Oh, man.
So this is what I'm saying. But now, as you get older, you keep hearing these things about how it's tougher for everybody out there. And now it's a lot tougher for women and things like that. And I get it and I understand. But I'm at an age where I can't fix anything. I'm too old to be playing that. I can get erectile dysfunction at any given time.
Yeah. So basically, you refuse to carry your tools with you, huh?
Bruh.
So like I said, I think a lot of the issues that we have, you know what I'm saying, with I think a lot of the, women, I think they're valid to have issues with us. And I think it just happens because of the breakdown of family structure in the sense that, women don't, for now, the way the structure is with if you're a single mom, that means that any man that's in their life that like your father, whoever it is, they are just a financial situation. They are child support. They are something like that. So they become this financial figure that may not even show up all the time. And so you have somebody who is mad because your job is to give me money, but I'm angry because you ain't ever been in my life. Therefore, that gets taken out on every man that you meet.
Yes.
So
Yes.
So at the end of the day,
Yes.
But who do we blame that on? So then it's like this. It's like we're mad at her for being like that, which we don't have to take that. At the same time, though, it's because some man probably freaking let her down, put that and made this had this woman. And that's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, we gotta check ourselves sometimes when it comes to how we roll, especially with our kids. Like when you have somebody in your life that ain't taking there's no way I could not know what my children are doing. There's no way I cannot be a source of, yes, you know who your father is, and there ain't no question about that, and I ain't gonna show you somebody that you need to take care of. Okay, so you don't be taking care of no Negro. Don't be out here saving the dude, you know what I'm saying, who ain't carrying their weight, because you've always seen your dad with a job. You've always seen your dad being clean, you know, so he may not have been perfect, but at least you have some type of example of somebody who's in your life, even if he ain't living with you. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, and I don't think my daughter looks at me as like, looks at men as a piggy bank, because she didn't, you know, that's not what she had in front of her. You know what I'm saying? She knows the other. She knows the other. Being told is cool, but at the same time, it's like, if you haven't seen it, if like somebody can tell you anything, but it's like, if you haven't been able to feel that love from a dad and see that love to their mom, whatever it is, so on and so forth, then you just believe whatever it is out here.
No, here's what happens with me. I've had women specifically tell me, growing up, get a man with money.
But why are they saying that?
Okay, I'm saying get a man with money so they won't be poor and they'll be taken care of. Now, here's the problem that I have with that. That's fine. You don't want a man that doesn't have money. That's great. So now we're going to talk about this other thing where when you find a man with money, this is what you do for him. If he's paying for everything, he's cool. Like here, not now, but when I was younger, if I'm with a woman, we married and all that, yeah, you need money or whatever, I'm asleep, yeah, take what you need, do what you got to do. Because you're handling your business. We're a partnership. We're teammates. For me, anything short of that, I don't want to play.
I hear you.
I don't want to play. I ain't doing none of that stuff. I ain't doing any of that stuff. But that's what you'll have. They're specifically looking for money, and the problem with that is you need to also understand that the killer also can be rich. The psychopath can also be rich. Wasn't the Unabomber a Rhodes Scholar?
Probably. One of them bombers.
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. So this is why we keep having these situations that we're having, and it all comes back to these bad men. But you're not attracted to decent men. You don't understand the characteristics of a decent man, and they're running from alphas. And I've seen where they think the alpha and the abuser are the same guy. They're different guys. Yes, you're intimidated by the alpha because you didn't have a dad in your house. But watch how the alpha moves. Watch how everything around him is taken care of. Even his relatives, his friends, everybody around him is good. Ain't nobody hungry, ain't nothing. You flick his light switch, light comes on. Start his car, starts right up.
It's warm in the winter.
You're going to be part of that
bath.
unit.
Yeah.
You'll be part of that unit. You'll be part of what's taken care of. Now, there's a fear of that because the long list of guys that you picked that didn't work out. Okay, fine. The last 15 you drafted didn't work out. Okay? Didn't do that.
But you're the only one that knew they weren't going to work out. You're the only one who didn't know they weren't going to work out.
Right.
Everyone was saying in a war room was like, "Don't do it,
Right.
don't do it, don't do it."
And now you come to me with the questionnaire. How do I get the questionnaire?
Yeah.
Without all the ones that was there, I'm the one who's taking care of his business and been doing it for so long. It's second nature. I don't even think about it.
Right.
So you give me the questionnaire because of the long list of other guys you drafted in the first round. That shouldn't even try it out. That's not my fault. So we're already trying to come into this the wrong way.
Yeah.
We're coming in at day one. We're sitting down at dinner and you telling me about all these bad guys. Well, that ain't what we're supposed to be talking about. We're supposed to be talking about us and if there's a possible future with us. I don't want to hear about the guy you was getting ready to get married that his wife called you just before the wedding. I don't want to hear all that. That had nothing to do with me. When you in the war room, you should have already had your drafts down. You should know what you're drafting. You should know what you're looking for. And like I said, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it for the rest of my life. Look in that brother's shopping cart. And if he ain't in the grocery store, he probably ain't eating well, so he doing too much movement. But look at his cart. Look what's sitting there. Ain't nothing wrong with, box of cereal, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But
Yeah, for a quick one.
yeah. But make sure he stopped by the fruit and vegetables and, you know what I mean? And look at how he talked to people. Look how he talked to the lady at the grocer, you know what I mean? They don't look at none of that. Because here's what matters. He pulled up in that car.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Right. Right. And another thing that's hard is when you try to actually have a conversation or be with somebody who had bad draft choice, and sometimes they look at you like you're one of those, either a bad draft choice or one of those individuals when you're like, no, that's not me.
You're getting punished for something you didn't
Right,
do.
right. I'm here to make this move. I'm here to make this work.
I'm not doing that, man. It's too much work because it's like you gotta, and you'll never do it. You'll never get them to forget, or you'll never get them to look at you and realize you're not like that.
Right.
You don't move like that. You don't live like that. I ain't doing all that, man. I'm not doing all that.
I just feel like most of these women that you're talking about like this, it's like if you go back and figure out what's going on with how they came up, you'll figure out why they feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Why they are that way. 'Cause
They
I
tell
think-
you.
Well, they'll tell you, but I'm pretty sure like when they tell you, it's like okay, then I get it. Because at the end of the day, if this is the same woman who grew up in a household that had a mom who cooked meals and cleaned and worked, but also gave you chores in the sense of so on and so forth, and you meet if you I'm sure across some time in your life you've met a woman who could put it down like, oh no, I can cook, I do this, I balance all this stuff. It's like, okay, well, who taught you that? Oh, my mom. Oh, boom. Or it's like it all starts to, you understand how if you're in a situation that's favorable, you'll learn these things and you'll get these things, and they're out there. The problem is that over the years we've just, like I said, our families have just been destroyed, and the thing is now no one knows what they're like you go back into the 60s, 50s, 60s, you had those women who could still put it down, cooking the whole nine, so on and so forth. 70s here and there, you know what I'm saying? Like my grandma used to make sure, even though she worked and so on and so forth, my grandfather had his meal, come in the house, boom, meal, boom, right there. Homemade lemonade all the time, bang, right there.
John, my mom could take dirt and water and make gravy, bro.
But
you know what I'm saying?
But
you know what I'm saying?
But then back it up. So, but then with that, which of your sisters has ever starved? You know what I'm saying? They you know what I'm saying? So it's like you look at it and you're like, all right, this is what was given, and it's like you just start to understand and when you see all these things moving like a Nick Cannon. You got Nick Cannon out here doing what he's doing, but there's women out here allowing it to happen. Why is this happening?
There's a long line of women.
But you can't tell me there's a strong father at home saying this is how I raised my child. No, my child ain't never seen this. It ain't what she saw. And even when it comes to having a man that has money, I feel like it's a dream of what you wish you had, your dad, so on and so forth. At the end of the day, if you had a dad in your life who worked construction or was a garbage man, but kept an honest job, still had a house, supported his family, so on and so forth, you would then be like, it ain't about a rich man, it's about a man who see how he treated my mother, see how he treated us. That's the kind of man I'm looking for. So it's like it just takes us, I feel like it takes us to be better examples for a lot of these kids coming up, to at least show them something that, hey, don't believe the hype. Don't believe the shit where people ain't have what you have. You, like I tell them, you have a father. You have a dad.
But I wonder how
you
many,
nobody ever got to take that place.
Yeah, but I wonder how many of Nick's girls are close to their dads.
That's what I'm saying. They're probably not.
They're
probably not.
That's what would be interesting to find out.
They're probably not, but that's the dad's fault if they ain't close to him. You know what I'm saying? So
yes and no.
I feel, look, if you want to be close to your kids, you will. There's nothing that's gonna keep me from my kids.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Nothing.
We have a story. We have a story.
There's many stories.
No.
Let me know when you'll stop. Let me know when you'll stop.
Listen.
Let me know when you'll stop fighting for your kids, and we'll leave it at that.
We got real situations that have happened.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, let me see, and I'll explain to you my situation. I think my mom and dad split up when I was like 6. Finally. 6 or 7, one of the two. When I was 11 or 12, I was up at my grandmother's house with my dad. But before that, I would always see a painting of this kid. He looked familiar, but I knew he wasn't a cousin. Mm-hmm. So one day I asked my dad who that was. He said, "That's my son." I said, "You got a son? What's his name?" He said, Sloan. I said, I want to meet him. I was 12. I didn't meet him until I was in my 20s. And after a while of so much really wanting to meet him and then not happening, I'm like, whatever. You know what I mean? So, my dad died a couple of years ago, and we were at my brother Billy's house for his annual Father's Day cookout. So one day I asked Sloan, I said, when did you hear about us, man? He said, I'll tell you when. He said, I was 10. And he said, Dad took me to McDonald's, and he told me I had 3 older brothers. He said he was excited. I'm like, damn, dude, you were 10? I was 17. So I knew about you like 5 to 7 years before you knew about me. I'm like, wow. And I was talking to him. He said, you know what it was? Because he said he went home and told his mom because he was happy they had 3 older brothers. He told me his mom said, yeah, but they don't like us. And I'm like, well, how can we not like you? And I've only met her one time. I've been to the whole point. And I'm thinking to myself, all of the brother shit that we could have been doing growing up, you know what I mean? And I'm like, that was like a hurt piece. Because the thing, but a lot of people don't, but I told Kev this yesterday, but I don't think I told anybody else this. Like, throughout, when my dad was with that woman, we weren't allowed to have his phone number. We had to call my grandmother, and she would relay the message. And I thought to myself, how kind of messed up is that? Mm-hmm. That I can't even call my dad's house. But when I got older, I used the yellow pages, and I found his number in the yellow pages. That's how I had his number, because if it weren't for that, I had never had it. You know, and that was a hurt piece, but, I got over it. I'm saying to myself, I lost all this time with this guy. That's my brother. You know what I mean? Mm. So the truth is, I blame my dad. I don't blame her. I blame my dad because I think my dad should have been with that. These boys need to know each other, but like my brother said, well, sometimes as a man, you just gotta pick your battles. And I kind of laughed when he said it because it made total sense. So from that perspective, but our advantage is we had a lot of uncles, and so it's like I told you before, and we did the discussion and homage, there were uncles there who stepped up, but not stepped up to be a father figure, but to be a positive male influence. And that was like the most important thing to me. Because he was my grandfather, even though he sat there with his paper and he had like that Fred Sanford drawer full of glasses, he would kick it and just try to find the right, reading his paper, and like my Uncle Will, that was one of the coolest dudes I ever met in my life. That's Jim's dad. And my Uncle Matt, those 2 dudes were most of the biggest influences, males in my life.